In this course, I learned about the need for media literacy in the ELA classroom. Media literacy is a relatively new concept to bring into the ELA classroom and therefore is not yet widely recognized as a necessity in the ELA curriculum. In fact, there is no direct media literacy recognition in required standards. Throughout this presentation, I am going to detail why media literacy is important to the media literacy classroom, how it benefits students, and how to get students engaged in various media environments. First things first, adolescents do not have a clear grasp on how to analyze and criticize the wide range of media they encounter on a day-to-day basis. It's not just news. It's social media, movies, shows, videos, books, magazines, and any form of entertainment and news they interact with. Studies consistently show that adolescents do not know how to identify what is fake from what is real. That is the most alarming thing. Stemming from that, students do not know how to analyze the political, social, economic, racial, and gender representations of people, often themselves, in the media. This means that adolescents' worldviews and views of themselves are largely based on media manipulation. It needs to become a goal in the ELA classroom to analyze and criticize media and create a worldview founded on their own literate understanding of the world around them. My classroom will largely focus on a social justice pedagogy, so incorporating media literacy into my curriculum will help my students decipher the injustices found in the various media they encounter. All media created is meant to benefit the creator, not themselves. Whether it's promoting the creator's political agenda or a product they are selling, none of the media students encounter is meant to solely benefit them. By teaching my students how to answer these simple questions: who created this? Why did they create it? Who does this message benefit? And whose voice does this message leave out? My students will be able to understand the sole purpose of each media message they encounter and how media often creates injustices. Given this, many media messages are lies or do not take into account all voices and evidence. By answering the questions discussed, students will be encouraged to look into the information that inspired a specific media example. Often, this information will be proven false. Students will then be able to better understand all of the sides of an argument or understand that the media they encounter is created to promote a false understanding of events or of the world. This will also allow students to decipher and analyze the political biases that generate the unreliable media they encounter. No matter which political side they choose to take, it is important for me to teach them that news or political related media is created and promoted to influence political bias. Usually, there will be media from a different political ideology that represents a different take on an event or subject. By learning how to find and understand all media regarding political happenings, students learn to analyze and criticize the political biases and lies in the media they encounter. In the ELA classroom, analyzing and interpreting literature is a key learning component. In a classroom run with a social justice pedagogy, challenging literature is also key. When students learn to analyze and challenge the media they encounter, they can translate that skill to analyzing and challenging literature. This is why it is incredibly important to pair media literacy with core literature texts, both fiction and nonfiction, to interweave media literacy into a unit plan revolving around core and secondary literary texts. Media literacy has an important place in the ELA classroom, and the pairing of media literacy with literary texts is why media literacy is best taught in the ELA classroom and needs to be embedded in all ELA classrooms across the country. In order for students to fully realize media literacy content, they need to be able to participate in media environments. This not only allows them to practice media literacy by creating and sharing media themselves, but it also allows them to practice with useful technological tools they can use in their future academic and professional careers in a healthy way. Some of the tools I will bring into my classroom when engaging with media literacy related to content is a class Twitter page, students creating movies, and classroom-friendly discussion forums like back-channel chat. If we are to have students analyzing and challenging media, they need to be creating media themselves. Bringing media literacy into the ELA classroom is a necessity. Adolescents do not have the skills to analyze and challenge the media they interact with on a daily basis, creating a culture where their worldviews are shaped by the media they encounter. Students need to be able to identify the lies and the misrepresentations in all news and media. By teaching our students this, their worldviews will be more personal and inclusive, and we can help build a stronger, more democratic environment and nation. On this slide are the course's core texts I use to guide this reflection.